All right. Welcome back to the Super Fantasy Bros podcast. It's been a little while since we determined that LT was the best running back since 2000. But we wanted to start today. We are beginning our journey through the offseason and helping you prepare for fantasy gold 1 week at a time. So all four of us here have compiled our rankings. We're going to be breaking down each NFL team one by one. So we're going to do one division per podcast. Today, we're going to be starting off with the AFC North in today's episode. So we're going to be breaking down the rankings, latest news, questions for the Steelers, Ravens, Bengals, and Browns. So our rankings and opinions obviously may change as we get closer to the season. I mean, we're a few months out at this point, but you can stay up to date with our ranks on our website. We're constantly giving out takes on Twitter and Instagram. So make sure you're following us everywhere to stay up with the latest news. But all right, boys,
let's get into the thick of it.
Into the thick of it.
All right, so we're going to start with the dog pound, Cleveland Browns. So we're going to be doing some cap or no cap, fan favorite, of course.
It's back.
Got to bring it back. It's back. It's back. So let's jump right into it. First one here is Odell Beckham Jr. and Jarvis Landry are both outside of the top 25 wide receivers heading into 2021. Cap or no cap?
No cap.
No cap.
Easy no cap.
Baker's not that good to spread the ball around that much.
Baker's not that guy.
He's not. You're not that guy, pal. He's not.
I'm with you guys. No cap. I just don't see it happening with the Browns wide receivers. Like, I love both of them, and one of them definitely could emerge as like the number one target there, but I just don't see it happening in the short term. I'd rather take my risks elsewhere.
Yeah, OBJ has just become.
Go ahead,
he's just become like a juicy name. He's not as good as what he once was, sadly.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who you blame for that. And then Jarvis is just too inconsistent to be a top.
I know who you blame for that. Injuries.
It could be Baker. It could be OBJ. It could be the amount of shit on OBJ's chest.
He's got a lot of shit
Chill,
on his chest.
he don't deserve that.
And the Browns rely heavily on the run game too, so they have like two of the best running backs in the league.
Right.
So they don't really have to pass the ball all that much, even though they lose a lot and they're down a lot.
Yeah, when they're down a lot,
continue to run the ball.
Yeah, when they're down a lot, it definitely helps OBJ and Jarvis for sure. But they were up a lot last season, so I think that really hurt Jarvis Landry, and obviously OBJ ended up getting injured. But I think it hurt both of their values. So I think both of them are more like flex options rather than wide receiver twos like they have been.
Major
in the past.
Flex appeal.
Yeah, definitely like them in my flex slot there. All right, let's get into the next one. Baker Mayfield's end of the season stretch last year makes him a top 12 quarterback this year. Cap or no cap?
Cap.
Big cap.
Bottom 12.
Big cap.
All right, bottom 12.
Bottom 12, that's a stretch.
Yeah,
That
that's
can't
a
be
little bit
that
of a stretch.
bad.
Well,
There's too much talent around him.
All right, is he going to be closer to bottom 12 or top 12?
He'll be like 16.
I think he'll be closer to
He'll
top
be
12. I ranked him
middle
at
of the
20.
Okay.
Isn't that still bottom 12? Then number 16.
No,
Well, there's
Out of
32 NFL
quarterbacks?
teams. Come on, Q. Quick maths.
Wake up, Q.
Yeah, right.
I'm sorry.
It's too hot in that room. He's losing his mind.
This is my sweat glands.
Yeah, I don't think Baker's. I think he has the potential to get there. He obviously has the weapons around him, but I just don't see it happening. Definitely more comfortable with him as like a second quarterback or like my backup for a bye week film.
Yeah.
All right, the next one here we have Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb. Both proved last season that both of them can be top 20 options, even when both are healthy. This is cap or no cap?
That's no
cap.
I still feel like you don't want to depend on Kareem Hunt as an RB2. I think they have the potential. Jesus Christ, they have the potential to both be top 20, but they've also had their stretches where they were both healthy, and it was still one or the other. And beginning of the season, it seemed like it worked. Towards the end of the season, one of them were hurt. It may have been Chubb, but when they were both back together, Chubb was the guy because I guess he had proven that it's his backfield. Hunt's just the complementary piece.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. I think Chubb is obviously the one you would want to own in this backfield. I do think Kareem Hunt has the upside to definitely finish top 20, just because Kareem Hunt obviously has the PPR upside with being able to catch passes out of the backfield. And I think he's going to have his games where he's going to get 20 to 30 fantasy points or whatever. But I don't think it's going to be as consistent as Nick Chubb will be. He's going to get consistent volume every week. And I don't know if Kareem Hunt gets that. But I do think both of them could be top 20. So I'm going to say no cap. I think both of them could finish top 20. Although my rankings may not reflect that, I do think it's definitely a possibility.
I'm sure that Kareem Hunt will have a few top 20 weekly performances, but consistently, I don't think so.
Yeah, for sure. So let's get into a couple of questions. You kind of stole my thunder here with that last point. But I wanted to just ask a couple questions about the upcoming season for the Browns. So are you comfortable with Kareem Hunt as your RB2 option heading into 2021?
I am. I haven't ranked at 21.
Yeah.
Especially in a PPR league. If you're not in a PPR league, maybe not. But if you're in a PPR, I'm definitely comfortable with him as my running back too.
Yeah, I've been torn on this. I've been on the borderline. I currently have Kareem Hunt at 25. I definitely could move him up a couple spots just to get him into that RB2 conversation, but I'm kind of on the fence. It's like, is the consistency going to be there? I had him as my RB2 last year, and he was definitely paid off when Nick Chubb was out. But when Nick Chubb came back, it was kind of like you're going to get 6, and then you're going to get 20. So it was kind of the volatility was there.
There's just for him to get at least like 12 plus, a lot needs to go right within the game, within the offense. But it's hard to depend on him to be the RB2. But where I have him ranked, technically he is one. I guess he's worth the risk.
Yeah, I think he's right in that kind of low end RB2 range. Like if you end up with Kareem Hunt, you're not mad, but you're not ecstatic either.
Right.
All right. Next question I got here. Are you nervous at all about OBJ coming off yet another injury, this one being an ACL tear?
Big time. It scares me. They've always lingered his whole career, and it's just they're inevitable for him at this point.
See, but I think because of that, that's why I'm not nervous, because it's just like expected. So like I'm not expecting like him to break out to be what he once was on the Giants. But I also don't expect him to be as bad as he was before he was injured.
So you think he'll get hurt later in the year?
I hope he doesn't get hurt at all, but I guess it's bound to happen at some point.
Got all that shit on his chest, he just got to get off, and he does it through injury.
Now, I think it's kind of baked into his ADP at this point with his injury, because like Odell Beckham Jr. has such a wide range of outcomes. Like he could be a top 10 wide receiver, or he could get injured in week 3 and be done for the season, and then you don't have anybody, and you wasted your third wide receiver, fourth wide receiver pick on him. His ADP is wide receiver 28. I think if you knew OBJ was going to be healthy 100% going into the season, he'd probably be closer to a top 20 wide receiver. So I think it's kind of baked into where you're drafting him. So I'm definitely nervous about it, but I think where you're drafting him, it's not that big of a risk.
And you also think about the struggles that Baker has had with him, which has caused a lot of like rumors and stuff that he just can't get him the ball. So that also plays into it. Yeah,
Baker was honestly playing better after he went out because he stopped force feeding him. So hopefully the offense kind of flows better this year and kind of get into a good rhythm. Next question I have for you guys is, what are you doing with Browns tight ends heading into this season?
I'm
absolutely nothing. That's what I'm doing.
I'm
looking the other way.
I might take like Austin Hooper late round flyer just like as a bye week fill-in, or maybe he breaks out and has a good season and then you lucked out. But I'm really not going into the draft expecting to draft any Browns tight end.
Yeah, I definitely hear what you're saying there.
Yeah, poor Njoku. He could be good, but he's now behind Austin Hooper, and he's always hurt.
Yeah, I like Njoku as well, but obviously he's not going to get much playing time. Austin Hooper would be the only one I would consider, even though Harrison Bryant caught a few touchdowns last year. But I just think Baker's not going to get enough volume going in this passing game to warrant drafting Austin Hooper. So I'm with you guys. Avoid them all.
Bring back Gary Barnidge.
Do not bring back
Gary Garbage.
Gary
Garbage. He's trash. All right. Is there a third wide receiver on this team that you're interested in late in drafts?
No. We're not going to interest the Higgins guy, or what's his name? You know what I'm talking about. Or the Peoples Jones.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I'm low-key a little bit interested in Peoples Jones. But yeah, I hear what you're saying. I'm not if we're looking at dynasty, I'd probably be looking at these guys, but like our PPR redraft, I think outside of Jarvis Landry and OBJ, I wouldn't really want to draft any other pass catchers on this team.
Those guys are like the poor man's Christian Kirk, which is Christian Kirk's already poor man's something himself. So like he gets his breakout games, and then so these Browns wide receivers, it's even more rare to get something out of them.
Yeah, they're gonna have like 1 or 2 games randomly. They'll catch a touchdown, they'll hit the waiver wire, and then become irrelevant again. So I'm not really looking into any of them at this point. All right, last question before we get into some bold takes for the Browns. What do you think Baker Mayfield's ceiling is heading into the season? What could be his peak?
The roof.
That's a tricky question because
The roof,
he
yeah.
has the talent around him, but he's just not good. I'm sorry, he's just not a good football player, in my opinion.
I think that the Browns have learned that like running the ball is what they should like think to do first. They should be a run first team, keep the ball out of Baker's hands because he's known to make mistakes or just play poorly. So I think his ceiling is not as high as some may think just because he has Jarvis Landry and OBJ on the outside.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. I think obviously the weapons surrounding him are incredible, but I don't think his ceiling is that high. I think his ceiling would be a top 12 quarterback, and then you're like it'd be like a low end, like he'd finish at best like QB 10, and
Right.
that would really surprise a lot of people if he finished as a top 10 quarterback. So yeah, I think he's around the mid-tier NFL quarterback. I think he can get the job done and get them into the playoffs again, but I don't think he's an elite fantasy weapon whatsoever. Well, let's get into our bold takes for the Browns or our favorite target. So for each team, we're going to be breaking down and just giving you either a bold take or just a guy we're really looking to target on this team. So let's start off with Q. You're kind of
Yeah, so let's
saying
take it back now, y'all. Baker Mayfield will be the best quarterback in the AFC North. So, all right, let me explain. Burrow coming off an ACL injury. He's like not technically a rookie, but he hasn't played a full season. Ben Roethlisberger aging beyond belief, but he has weapons, but he's an old man. He hasn't done anything. He wasn't that good last season. And then you got Lamar. Okay, he can run. That's definitely very valuable in fantasy football, but I don't think he's proven anything to be anything. He's an average quarterback outside of the running ability. And they haven't helped him at all with wide receivers. Yes, they drafted a wide receiver and they still have Mark Andrews, but
Sammy Watkins.
I guess Lamar will have his career game week 1 because Sammy Watkins will have his week 1 career game also. But after that, I'm sure I'm going to be wrong, but Baker Mayfield, there are reasons out there why he could be the best.
So it sounds like it's more of not the fact that Baker Mayfield's that talented that he's going to be better than all of them. It's more of they're all going to be that bad. Predicting Lamar to finish worse than Baker Mayfield is as bold as it gets, Q. You're already starting off the season pretty spicy.
Yeah, I'm sure there's going to be spicier.
I don't know about that one. That's tough to beat.
I'll make it possible.
All right. T-Gods, what do you got for us?
Okay, this isn't very bold, but it is my favorite. I am looking to draft Kareem Hunt, and I am going to say that for the second year in a row, he's going to lead the Browns in receiving touchdowns. Last year, he had 5 receiving touchdowns. Odell, he got hurt, but he only had 3, and Jarv played the whole season. He only had 3.
That's kind of crazy. I didn't even know that.
Yeah. So give me some Kareem Hunt. I think you guys are hating on him. And PPR, I think he's going to be better than you guys think.
He definitely has top 20 upside. If Nick Chubb goes down, he's obviously a top 10 running back right away, no doubt. We saw that last year. I don't think it's impossible whatsoever. I think Kareem Hunt has the explosiveness to, like, on any given play, take the ball to the house. So I like that one.
Thanks.
All right, Matt, what do you got for us here?
Well, I'm looking at Sean's guy, Jarvis Landry, because I believe that once again he will lead the Browns in receiving, maybe not targets, but I think he will lead them in receptions. Because like you said, they love the force feed. OBJ because Baker doesn't really know what else to do with the ball. But once Odell went down, it was like a landslide from target share, yards, all that, except for touchdowns, like T God said. That's one spot where he really lacks. But I don't know. I feel like the longer that core plays together, the better that they'll get. And I just think that I'm hoping he doesn't get hurt again this year, but I feel like OBJ is just bound to happen at some point. He's going to miss a couple games here and there. So I'm going to take Jarvis Landry as the leading receiver on that Browns team.
I love that take, no doubt.
I was just about to say, you wore that jersey the wrong day. You could have worn the Jarvis jersey today when we're literally speaking on the Browns.
Well, I had to rep Jalen Hurts first time on the pod. Number 2, though, not number 1. Can't say it, but whatever. I'll give you my take here. I'm going to piggyback off of Matt a little bit. Of course, you guys know if we're talking about the Browns, I got to talk about Jarvis Landry. I'm taking Jarvis Landry as just my favorite target on this team, just because of the value you're going to be getting Jarvis Landry at. We've seen him be a top 12 wide receiver, even in Cleveland with OBJ there. Jarvis Landry obviously can be a number 1 wide receiver on a team, and he's currently being drafted as the 42nd wide receiver off the board, 105th overall. We're obviously pretty far from the season, so that could change. He could move up or down, but at this current state, you're getting a huge value in Jarvis Landry, who could be an easy week in, week out flex. There were some games last year where they had crazy weather where Jarvis Landry was unable to do anything. The Browns really didn't do anything on offense. So I think Jarvis Landry is a great value pick in any draft heading into this season. So that's my guy to take on the Browns. Bias intended.
I know. It's okay.
Definitely.
Yeah,
It's okay.
me.
I do.
No one needed to be reminded how biased you are.
Yeah, that's to be expected from you, Sean.
Yeah, no doubt. Got to bring the bias back, baby.
Never left.
All right. Yeah, it didn't leave. Let's be real. All right. Let's move on to the second team in this division, the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Ooh.
Get back to some cap or no cap. Start off with Big Ben. Big Ben is essentially undraftable this season after his up and down play last year. Cap or no cap?
Cap. I mean, no cap. You have to be wild to be drafting this guy for any reason. Other than maybe you're a Steelers fan and you're just like,
you wouldn't take Big Ben as a backup,
no.
a bye week fill-in, not even with all them weapons.
I would take Big Ben if he's there last round, 100%.
Easily.
I mean,
Q's just capping.
It sounds
cap
cute.
Or no cap on Q.
Cap. It sounds cute, but there's cuter.
Would you guys rather have? Hold on. Would you rather have Big Ben or Baker?
Baker.
Well, yeah, Q obviously would. He took him as Baker is the best in this division.
Yeah, Q, don't answer that.
For me, I think I'd still take. Actually, that one's tough. I have Baker ranked higher, but Roethlisberger does seem a little bit safer. I think at this point, if I'm looking for a quarterback and I'm looking for a backup quarterback, I want someone with a little bit more upside. Obviously, Roethlisberger has the weapons around them, but he's not the kind of guy I'm looking for on a week-to-week basis. The injury history is there. He's in consistent play.
I think I'd rather take the risk with Jared Goff than Big Ben.
Wow, that is bold.
Matt,
bold.
Matt, I'm curious for your answer.
My answer for what?
He doesn't even know what we're talking about.
Come on,
No, Matt said. Matt already
I said
answered.
cap. That's cap.
No, but I want to know if you'd rather have Baker or Big Ben.
Oh, I'm taking Big Ben all
Okay,
day, every
okay,
day.
okay.
I don't want Baker.
I just want to make sure I'm not crazy.
No,
You're
not
crazy
at all.
regardless.
You're not crazy.
I'm with you, T guy.
You're still
Okay.
crazy.
I'm probably not taking Big Ben in any draft, though, personally.
It's fair.
I think he's definitely someone you can grab for a bye week fill-in or whatever, but I'm not going out of my way to draft Big Ben. I've done that before. I don't like that. I think I did it 2 years ago. He was QB 18 or something. But anyways, let's move on to the next one.
Okay.
Cap or no cap, there is no clear number 1 wide receiver for the Steelers. And any given week, it can be one of their main 3 guys there.
We went through this every week last year.
We did.
I don't think there ever will be a solid number 1 on that team. It's going to be someone different every week. There's too many mouths to feed, and I mean, all of them are decent. Don't get me wrong, but no one guy really stands out ahead of the group.
It should be Deontay Johnson, but he can't catch. Claypool, I would put him next because he is pretty good.
Too many TikToks though.
Too many.
Yeah, him and Juju are too busy trying to become E-boys.
And Juju, I would put him as the least likely. Just there's some hatred bias there, but I think I'd put him last of the three. But it should be Deontay. Hopefully he's fixed the drop issue. But yeah, I don't think you can just like pick one that is the like clear number one right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you guys. I'm gonna say no cap. Like there's not a clear number one. It's just not a clear picture. It was different every week. You'd get a streak for a couple weeks where Claypool was going off, and it looked like he was easily going to take over, and then he'd disappear on a week. So it's too unpredictable. I think it's still going to be unpredictable this year. They're going to spread the ball around to whoever's open and whoever can catch because Deontay was struggling at the end last year. All right, one more cap or no cap here for the Steelers. Najee Harris is this year's rookie running back to grab and will finish as a top 12 running back. Cap or no cap?
He's like, I think he's the only rookie running back to have like a solid starting job, like right off the rip. I think that the Steelers are going to rely heavily on him. I mean, obviously they're a pass first team because of all those receivers, but he's going to have plenty of opportunity. I see him getting at least 20 touches a week.
I agree with Matt. I really like Najee Harris this year a lot.
I like him. I don't like the O-line or that. I think I need to like see some like evidence that he can produce with that offense, but I do like him. I think he can be very good. I think it's just the other factors that play in for me. But it's capped for me.
I'm gonna say it's half and half for me. Definitely no cap that he's this year's rookie running back to grab. Like I'm taking him over ETN. I'm taking him over a lot of these other rookies out there, Sermon, whoever you're trying to look at late in drafts. Najee Harris obviously has the best chance to break out of any of them. But finishing as top 12,
that was the part that had me like.
He's close. I think he definitely has the potential to finish top 12. He has the upside, but I'm not 100% sold on it yet. I obviously want to see it before I believe it. I have him ranked as RB 18, so I'm a little bit lower on him than some people are. But I think it's definitely the potential's there, but I'm going to say cap on that for now until I see some preseason action.
All right. Keep sleeping.
All right. Let's get into some questions I have for you guys about the Steelers in general here.
I got a question.
Who is your favorite wide receiver out of the trio of wide receivers for the Steelers right now?
Deontay Johnson.
I gotta agree with Q.
He's
gonna fix those catching woes.
If he fixes,
maybe it was like a Ben Simmons thing, and
right.
nerves got to him at the end, and his confidence was down a little bit. So
literally,
maybe he comes and bounce back.
Just about to say that if he fixes his drop problem, Ben Simmons fixes his like basketball problem.
Any comparison whatsoever. But yeah, I think I'm agreeing with you guys as well. Deontay Johnson is the one I would want to own. We've seen Juju be the guy in the past, but I think Deontay Johnson gets so much volume when he's able to catch the ball. He's just going to be the most consistent out of these guys, in my opinion.
Yeah, Juju's never been able to prove he could be the number one there. I mean, he had AB, he was good in his shadow. And once he was like by himself, it really wasn't all that. And now that there's more heads there, he still can't stand out by himself.
He just chose TikTok, and now he's like about to get passed on that by Claypool.
Yeah, facts.
Sorry.
All right. Next question I got for you guys. Is Eric Ebron worth drafting, or will Pat Freiermuth, I don't know how to say his last name, Pat
Freiermuth,
the rookie tight end from Penn State,
Freiermuth,
have too much of a role? Will he be too involved?
I don't know.
I don't think I'd want
Basically,
Eric Ebron. I wouldn't want him either way. Regardless.
Let's ask Gator.
I was gonna say
Gator
that,
don't
but
want him. The name Eric Ebron gives Gator PTSD.
It's gonna be week 16 of this upcoming year. We're still gonna bring up Gator whenever Ebron is talked about somehow.
Yep.
No doubt.
Years from now.
For a couple of years, yeah.
Yeah, I got Eric Ebron at tight end 25, so I'm not touching him in any of my drafts.
Ew.
Pat, he's from Penn State, isn't he?
Yeah. He was not the biggest pass catcher, but I mean, he was definitely has the talent to do that. He's definitely going to be a good blocker and obviously have that role as well. All right, definitely not taking Ebron. It sounds like that's the consensus here. Next question: is the Steelers defense a lock for the number one defense this year?
Absolutely not.
Ooh.
Who you got?
I think I would take Washington over him.
Ooh.
Wow,
Wash-
that's high on
I still
Washington.
like the Rams defense a
Rams,
lot.
that,
And the
them,
Bucks.
them
Rams
also.
and the Bucks.
I think
I'll
it's.
take Steelers, D. I'll take them. You guys can reject all the other ones.
Didn't they lose Bud Dupree? He went to some other team. He got hurt for the Steelers, then he left. So there was a good linebacker that left the Steelers for some other team. It's gonna hurt.
I feel like I know who you're talking about. I don't know
Yeah,
if it
Bud
was
Dupree is on the
Dupree, though.
Titans.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Bada bing, bada boom.
You got us, Q. You got us. I still think I'm taking the Steelers #1, but I don't think it's a lock per se. I think I have them #1. I don't know if it's. I think the #1 defense is so unpredictable.
Joe Hayden's
But-
like 50 years old, covering
They're the best chance.
baby
Joe-
wide receivers.
Joe Hayden's still elite though.
In
All
what
right.
world?
In this world,
Like Jalen Ramsey.
fantasy football world, Jalen Ramsey's elite too. Please stop.
Bring him up every pot.
Ramsey Island, baby.
Time. Yeah.
We'll bring him up as soon as we talk about the Rams. All right. Last question. Are you worried at all about Snell or Anthony McFarland Jr. taking touches away from Najee Harris?
Not even a little bit. Benny Snell might be the worst rostered running back on.
Remember
in
what I
the
said last
NFL.
year? Benny
Dude,
Snell,
you
the
were
next
gassing.
Le'Veon Bell.
That was the worst take.
It
And James
reminds me of
Conner's out of
Tony
there.
Snell, because Tony Snell was bad at basketball and Benny Snell was bad at football.
Do you still like that take, Q?
No.
No?
I mean,
He
it's
usually
possible
rides his
now.
takes into the ground.
See, but that take was because I don't like James Conner, and look, he's not on the Steelers anymore. They didn't like him either.
Facts. If I would, the only one I'd be scared of would be Anthony McFarland. I mean, he was a rookie last year. He didn't get that much opportunity to show what he had. But I don't think he's gonna overtake the role per se. I think obviously they like Najee Harris a lot for where they drafted him, and I think McFarland could get some involvement in the passing game. But honestly, we all know Mike Tomlin at this point. He's a one running back kind of guy. So I think he's
He's-
going
I,
to be the
I
majority.
respect that
Najee
about
Harris.
him. He makes our lives a lot easier.
Way easier.
He's one letter away from being related to Kayla.
I was gonna
One
ask
letter?
you guys if he was.
He is
I,
Mac.
no, I think.
Oh,
he
yeah,
is.
no
M-A-C.
A. No A.
I'd rather have
Oh.
Kayla McFarland at running back than fucking
Oh, my
Anthony
goodness.
McFarland.
No, actually, there is no A. I think I spelled it wrong on this. It's
Nope.
MC
Wow, way to go,
McFarland.
Sean.
Wow, that's it. You're
But
fired.
There's
he's
a
a
relation
junior.
then.
Spell check. You need a proofreader.
All right.
Right.
Whatever. All
Any
right.
Fantasy Pros employee.
Let's get into our bold takes. Q, start us off.
It's not as bold as the last bold take, but I think Najee Harris will finish 15th or worse among PPR fantasy running backs currently being drafted RB12, which is 17th overall. I do think that's a little high, even in a running back scarce league. I think there's still a lot that needs to be proven. Obviously, he's a rookie running back, but within that team and their ability to block, pass or run, I want to see it first. But
I think
I
you're
mean,
underestimating the power of running backs this year.
there aren't that many. Good,
Barring health, this could be a good year for running backs.
yeah, we also say that about tight ends, and there end up only being like
All
three.
right,
that are-
well, tight ends
Tight
is like a
ends
pit of
suck.
death.
yeah, but coming into last season, I thought tight end was going to be like a tight end factory, but
Deeper
we
than
got
ever.
like 4 of them.
Tight ends, not elite. Only a few.
Yeah, I don't think he's
Dude,
going to be as good as some may say.
Yeah, Q, I hear what you're saying. I'm a little nervous too. I have him at RB18, so I'm kind of in that same boat, but I easily could see him be finishing top 10. So it's close. I think I'm limiting the risk with taking a rookie. I'd rather take someone that has a little bit more of a history, like DeAndre Swift, Cam Akers, Miles Sanders.
Najee Harris or David Montgomery.
I'm taking Harris, but it's close. I got Montgomery at 20.
And you have Harris at 18, right?
Yeah,
It's not close.
it's close for me.
One
Probably
guy.
close
It's
for some
not
of you
close.
guys.
It's not close.
I respect it. All right, T-Gods, give us your bold take. Or
Super
your
bold.
favorite target.
Super bold take.
We're going to the Super Bowl.
Super Bowl
I
take.
res- I
Super bold
respect
take.
this
Yeah. Super bold take. Ben Roethlisberger will finish as a top 10 quarterback this year. Hold on. He finished number 12 last year. There's 2 spots away. He's close. Real close. I think with Chase Claypool coming in his second year, he's going to get a little bit better. Deontay Johnson, maybe he'll stay healthy. Maybe he won't drop so many passes. He'll get a little bit better.
Health is another thing. I forgot.
Juju, he's a solid receiver. He's not bad. And Q doesn't like their O-line, so if the running game's not going to work, Big Ben's going to throw, right, Q?
I mean, unless he gets sacked, he's not that fast either.
No, he would never.
You know
get
how
sacked.
hard it is to take down Big Ben.
Yeah, you can't take down Big Ben.
Remember
you
that
kidding me?
clip
Brick
of him
wall.
in practice?
All four
where
of
they're
us
just
could take him
throwing
down.
things at him
I
and he
remember
just-
that. I remember that. clip.
Yeah. They're
If
like,
we
when
all-
you know you're never gonna lose your starting
If we all
job.
came at Big Ben, we'd take him down.
I don't know. Big Ben's a
You think you could take him down by yourself?
bong.
Q, you're not taking down Big
I'd put him
Ben,
on.
bro.
I'd put him on one knee.
Well, that's taking him down.
You're not taking
That's
down Big
considered a
Ben.
tackle.
All right.
Are we wearing
Yeah.
pads? Because I might
Hey,
just come for
yeah.
his face.
If you guys believe in this take from G Gods, you're getting an absolute steal. He's currently being drafted as QB 20. So if you can find a top 10 quarterback at QB 20, you're getting a free quarterback right there.
He threw 33 touchdowns too, by the way, last year.
Yeah. I like Big Ben. I'm just nervous about his health and his age and how he
No.
progresses. I feel like he's getting towards that Peyton Manning territory where
No,
like
he
gonna
100%
be
is.
scary.
Definitely is, but numbers don't lie. So
Numbers don't lie. He's got the weapons still. All right, Matt. What do you got for us?
Alrighty, I'm gonna go with my target off this team, and the most juicy, probably aside from Najee Harris, is Deontay Johnson. I mean, he led the team in receiving last year. Even with all the drops, he was second in receptions, only by like 9 receptions, I believe. Led the team in yards, led him in targets. I mean, Big Ben likes him a lot. I think that they build trust this year because Deontay will not have that dropping problem. I'm putting it in stone. He will have 5 or less drops this year.
Jeez.
I like that.
And
That's still a little bit, but it's definitely better than last year. What do you have, like 10?
Yeah, he had like 10 or 12. So he's definitely gonna be on the up and up this year. And like you guys have been saying, if the running game doesn't work because that O line is butt cheeks, then Big Ben's just gonna be airing it out.
Facts. All right, Matt. I like that take. I do like Deontay Johnson, and I actually do have him ranked higher. But my target for this team has got to be Juju Smith-Schuster. Obviously, he's kind of the forgotten one of this trio here. Everybody wants Claypool to break out for his second year. Everybody thinks Deontay Johnson was super good last year. He's being drafted a lot higher. He's currently being drafted as wide receiver 20. I'd rather wait and take 10 wide receivers later. I'd rather grab Juju 75th overall rather than 52nd. Give me Juju there at that value compared to Deontay Johnson. Juju could put up similar numbers, or if not similar, very close, and get you very similar value there. And he's being the third Steelers wide receiver drafted when we've seen him be a consistent top 20, top 15 guy. Outside of maybe like last year, he was a little bit up and down, but I still think Juju has the talent to be a very good wide receiver. So with the value there, I like Juju the best.
I was gonna say we may have seen him very high, but we've also seen him very low.
Yeah, I just like the value where he's at. Yeah, if I'm getting Juju as my flex, I feel confident with that flex option.
I'll take a flexi Juju.
Exactly.
Major
Take a
flex
renegade
appeal.
Juju.
Renegade.
Yeah, that scares me. The only thing that scares me is TikToks. But anyways, before we get into the Cincinnati Bengals, it's time for our sponsor. Today's sponsor is the Thrive Fantasy app for iOS and Android. Thrive Fantasy app is a daily fantasy sports app for player props and daily fantasy sports lineups. So they're still live right now during the season. I know football season's not here yet. But they're definitely still doing some NBA playoff stuff as well as MLB. There's golf going on. They're always doing different contests. So if you download the Thrive Fantasy app today, use our promo code SUPERFB, SUPERFB, and you deposit $20 or more, you will receive an instant $50 bonus to your account. So go check out the Thrive Fantasy app today, download it, and try and win yourself some money.
What did I say last year? Scared money don't make no money.
And obviously, a lot of people out here have some scared money.
A lot of them do. What happened to all that stimmy money? They were too busy buying crab legs and shooting off fireworks.
Deposit 20, get 50. You can't beat it. $70 right there to play with.
As Matt said, simple math.
Quick
Simple
math.
math.
Quick
maths.
Quick maths.
Quick
I
maths.
am pretty quick. Maybe not recovering
I've
off
seen
this
quicker.
broken ankle, but
All right, let's get into the Bengals. Speaking of
The
broken
Bengals.
bones, or I guess it
Broken
was
bones.
torn
What a transition.
torn ligament, I guess you could say. Let's get in some cap or no cap, starting with Joe Burrow. Cap or no cap, Joe Burrow bounces back this year after the injury and will finish as a top 12 quarterback.
No cap. I like Joe Burrow a lot. I mean, he was playing well before he went out, and they just gave him another weapon in Jamar Chase, which only helps him. I mean, I wish
This is boy.
they would have added a little bit more sturdiness to that offensive line, but I mean, Joe Burrow is going to be slinging it regardless because I don't see the Bengals leading much in any game this year, so I think he's just going to be airing the ball out, and they have a lot of weapons too, so I'm excited to see what he could do.
Yeah, I have him at 13, so technically it's cap, but like the amount that he was throwing last year before his injury was like I think it was like
absurd.
record breaking, but yeah, added another weapon. You do wish that they got Penei Sewell maybe over Jamar Chase, but Jamar Chase is the guy he played with in college, so you hope that like there's some sort of chemistry if that's
That's a brotherhood.
If that's a
more
thing.
than chemistry.
chemistry could just be a hoax.
Could be.
But I now I want to get into. I think chemistry is a hoax, and
The conspiracy.
it's
All right,
fake. It's all
Cuba's
in your
going
head.
way off the rails here.
But yeah, Joe Burrow, he's not gonna be top 12. He's gonna be number 13.
Yeah. I'm in the same boat with you. I also have him at 13, so like technically it's cap, but I'm gonna say no cap. What like there's a quarterback injury every year. We also don't know what's going on with Aaron Rodgers, so
Mhm.
we'll see where he ends up going if he's playing. Apparently, he was getting chased in a parking lot by some cops.
Yeah, I got a notification on my phone about it. He's just been acting a fool ever since this whole spiel in the off season's begun.
Right.
He's hanging out with different celebrities every
Miles
week.
Teller and police chases.
Yeah, he's all over the
and
place.
Family Feud or Jeopardy.
Yeah, Jeopardy.
It was just
host.
Family Feud.
Family Feud with Aaron Rodgers. No. But yeah, I think Joe Burrow could easily finish top 12. I obviously have him
should.
13. He should
should.
finish top 12
He
with those
will.
weapons.
He will.
Barring an offensive line that like makes it unbearable to pass. Hopefully, they can keep it together well enough for them to be able to sling the rock. All right,
Oh, he'll be slinging it.
he will be slinging it.
He'll be
All right.
slinging that rock like he's on a corner in North.
All right, cap or no cap? Jamar Chase makes the Bengals wide receiver room too crowded, and it will likely look similar to the Steelers of last year.
Mm-mm.
Cap.
Cap.
I don't
Cap.
believe it.
Cap. I think Jamar Chase is going to be better than any other receiver on that team.
Ooh,
I think-
spicy.
I think one will suffer, but I think they'll still all produce at a like what we think they might. I think it'll be Chase because he's the new guy, and I think he definitely could be the best out of all three. I would agree with T God's take, and then I'd go Higgins, and then I'd go Boyd because we saw Higgins outperform Boyd last season.
Yeah, this one's tough for me. I definitely think Jamar Chase does make it a little bit more crowded, but I'm also going to say cap. I don't think it's going to be similar to the Steelers. I think there will be an odd man out as well. I do agree with that.
They have a better quarterback than the Steelers, I'd say. Maybe based off of age and
Yeah,
Whatnot.
like current status. Obviously,
Potential.
Big Ben's a legend.
Current potential.
yeah, I think Burrow can make it work with three good guys.
All right, cap or no cap, Joe Mixon should still be drafted as a top 10 running back despite his injury history and inconsistent play in the past.
Absolute cap.
No. Sean, go ahead. Do,
All right,
do your
well,
whole spiel.
yeah,
You
you-
already know
you
I'm
talk. We're not
saying no
listening.
cap. I love Joe Mixon
La,
again
la,
this
la, la,
year.
la, la.
Back on the Joe Mixon train. I said it way earlier in the offseason. I'm going to continue saying it. Love me some Joe Mixon. It just makes too much sense. It makes too much sense. They added another weapon. It's going to make it even bigger gaps. The only thing that scares me a little bit would be the O-line, but I think he's going to try. They're going to try and get him out in space more. Now that Giovanni Bernard's not going to be there, he's going to catch more passes. Love Joe
That's a
Mixon
good
this
point.
year.
I forgot they got rid of Gio.
I'm getting some shares of Joe Mixon in every league I can. I got him as RB8 heading into this year. So
Who's their
RB8, I got him
second?
RB12.
I
your
want to know.
second
Who
is Samaje Perine, I'm pretty sure.
All right, so he's going to be the main guy because
He
you're
is
not
going
giving
to
it
be
that
He's
guy.
always been the main
workhorse,
guy. What you
bell
talking
cow.
about?
Gio,
Yeah, but
Gio had his
Gio would
moments.
take some
Third
take some
down
passing
work.
game away.
Yeah.
But I think without him, I don't think there's going to be that Geo role. So
I don't think he's top 10 though.
I got him going top 10.
Now
12.
I think he should still be drafted as top 10. Honestly, if you can
Samaje
get him
Perine's
later,
gonna
I think
take
you're
his
going to get the
job.
value of a top 10 running back. Samaje Perine, stop.
Would you? But there's D Hop and then there's Joe Mixon.
All right, look, this year I made sure in my ranks that I ranked Joe Mixon pretty high, but I'm still taking Diop over him.
5 years from now, that'll
least
still
you
be
came
the
to your
hottest take
senses.
ever taken on
Oh,
this show.
actually, I have Joe Mixon at 9. I
That was
apologize. I capped.
boiling.
But I had 4 wide receivers right before Mixon. I got Mixon going the top of the second round, RB13. I guess you could say I'm so crazy. I'm taking him over Calvin Ridley.
RB13 or
Yeah,
13th
you're wild.
overall?
You're
Yeah, they're
wild, Sean. You are
Wait, what'd he say?
wild.
What'd he
Didn't
say?
even take Joe Mixon over.
Joe Mixon over who?
Ridley.
Calvin Ridley. And Calvin Ridley's a fan of this podcast, so he's gonna.
Yeah.
I'm Calvin Ridley
DMing
15th
Calvin Ridley.
overall.
We
I got
lost
Joe
a
Mixon
follower.
13th.
Dude,
Love me
Our
some Joe
biggest
Mixon.
fan, you just crushed
I'm
him.
about to go put my Ridley jersey on. Guys.
Dude, love me some Joe Mixon this year. All right, anyways, we'll get into that later. I already kind of gave my spiel, but let's get into some questions. Q kind of stole the thunder with this one again. Q loves stealing the thunder here.
I don't even read these.
Which of the 3 Bengals wide
can't
receivers
read.
is most likely to be the odd man out?
Tyler Boyd.
Believe it or not, I agree with you. Tyler
Uzomah.
Boyd.
I have Tyler Boyd at the odd man out right now. Say Uzomah. But I do think it could be T. Higgins as well. If Jamar Chase comes out and is like the elite outside option, that puts T. Higgins as the other outside option. I think Boyd could still get some volume in the slot. But as of right now, I think it's still going to be Tyler Boyd. He obviously didn't outperform Higgins last year. So I think it's going to, if I had to rank them, I agree with Q. I think I'm going Jamar Chase's upside. Actually, I think I'd probably take T. Higgins as a little bit safer. I got them like right next to each other in my ranks.
Yeah.
T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, kind of interchangeable for me. But definitely Tyler Boyd's third man out.
Yeah, some of it may just be like a fantasy. Like we could, if we want Jamar Chase to be the best, and he probably is the most skilled, but being his first year, it still could be like Higgins. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised either. With that being said, what do you think is Jamar Chase's ceiling for his first season in the league?
I think he's going to be like CeeDee Lamb.
You
I
think
like
he'll
that.
be that good?
That's
Yeah.
good.
Well, CeeDee Lamb
Lamb
did-
was solid.
He fell off for a little bit though.
Dak
Well,
got
that's
hurt.
because Dak
That
got
doesn't
hurt.
count.
Yeah.
So
Who
what
then-
you're
fall
saying,
off
you're
with
saying
Andy
CeeDee
Dalton?
Lamb with Dak or CeeDee Lamb without Dak? Because that's
CeeDee
a very different CeeDee Lamb.
Very
CeeDee Lamb with Ben DiNucci.
All right, well that's trash.
That's
He got,
elite.
no catches.
no catch attempts.
I understand what you're saying.
No
though, like
targets.
kind of in that tier.
Yeah, that's what it is.
no
I
catch
honestly think-
attempts.
I think his ceiling could be Justin Jefferson last year. That would
Yeah.
be his absolute ceiling. Like Jamar Chase has
That's
the talent.
like-
When they were on the team together, Joe Burrow he had Justin Jefferson as well. They were all on LSU, and Jamar Chase was the guy.
That was
Jamar
like
Chase
the
has the
greatest
talent.
college football team of all time.
Oh yeah, they were unbelievable. He had the best quarterback season of all time. They won the national championship. That team was nuts. But anyways, yeah, Jamar Chase, he's definitely the guy. I think he has the ceiling to be a top 10 wide receiver. But I don't think it's going to happen. I think that's his absolute ceiling. Like the best case scenario, if you draft Jamar Chase, he could be top 10.
Best case, I give him 15. I wouldn't go as high. I wouldn't
Same
go as
odds.
far
I
as
mean,
say top
That's what
10.
I said. Justin Jefferson, I think he was top 10 last year. So
And even then, like top 15, that's like there's a lot of good wide receivers.
There is.
wide receivers deep position, but I think Jamar Chase is the real deal. All right. Next question here. Does the O-line make you more nervous about this offense as a whole, or is there enough talent to overcome it?
I mean, this offensive line always makes us nervous.
Right,
It should
look-
make the
look what it
Bengals
did to
nervous
him.
because, I mean, it took out their franchise quarterback for the rest of the year last year. So
in his first year.
year. And then he had to take a team picture with a big old scar on his knee showing.
Hey,
How
that's
embarrassing.
that's some goat shit though.
He was sitting on
Yeah.
the throne. It was cool. But back to the subject. Yeah, this O-line scares me.
I mean, technically they only added one player to the offense. Like, I mean, Jamar Chase could be the game changer, but
Maybe that could help Joe Burrow get the ball out of his hands quicker.
yeah, definitely.
So, I mean, that's definitely a plus. And maybe if they can get some of the run game going behind that wretched offensive line.
That is
and
true. Joe Mixon was also hurt, so that didn't help because they had to rely on Gio. So
Exactamundo.
you were
Yep.
worried, but there's potential.
They can
Yeah.
overcome it.
Yeah, I'm a little worried, but I also do think the talent's there to overcome it.
Yeah, go Mixon.
Yeah.
Go
Hey,
Mixon, go Bengals.
Yeah.
All right, 2 more
Trash.
questions here for the Bengals. Let's keep them rolling. Are you worried about Burrow coming back from such a serious injury?
Who cares? Because he's coming back anyway.
Whoa,
Yeah.
whoa.
I think
But I am worried going back to the last question because of the offensive line.
Yeah,
Right.
who wouldn't be
Yeah.
worried
That's it.
about that?
Definitely keeps my worries in my back pocket, but I'm still drafting him as like that
Yeah.
low end QB1 tier.
Yeah, he's
You
young.
can't
He'll
make that.
he'll recover real quick.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what they say to young people. You're young. You'll fight it off. You'll
Can't
fight
let it
off
get you too scared.
broken knees.
People
Yeah.
swear that young people are like invincible.
All right,
We are.
last question. I already gave this away for my
So you're
answer, but
hungover.
in what round do you guys think Joe Mixon should be taken?
Late second.
End of the second, yeah.
I would say mid-second.
All right, so I'm not that far off.
There's
I'm
a
not
lot-
that crazy for saying
I'd-
early second.
I would take him like 18th
Bro,
overall.
only because like it's a running back. Like that's the only reason
Yeah,
why.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's because he's a
That's why
starting
I'm
running
taking him
back.
Over, that's why.
Oh,
I would
that's
take
why I'm
him
And a
taking him over
workhorse
Calvin
running
Ridley.
back.
Yeah, I'm taking a
Crazy.
running
I'm
back.
not.
You're
Mm-mm.
crazy, dude.
There's a lot of hate for Joe Mixon on this podcast, but in reality, he is going to be taken at the end of the second, possibly just because of how scarce the running backs may be.
Yeah,
I don't
super
think he
scarce.
makes it to the end of the second.
Yeah, because Sean's going to be like, pick
Hey,
one.
Sean would not let him slide to
Someone
the end of
else
the
would
second.
definitely take him. A lot of
Sean-
people are going to be
Sean-
taking Mixon. He's a safe workhorse running back in a good offense. So I mean, that's appealing to a lot of people.
He's just lucky James Robinson has now been replaced, or else.
He has not been replaced. Don't say
Mixon's current ADP
Technically.
is
No.
22nd overall, RB14. So I'm definitely high on him, but he's also being taken right now at the end of the second, like you and T guys are saying. So they think he's where he should be. I think you can get him a little bit earlier, but if you can get him at the end of the second, I obviously wouldn't reach on him. I would wait.
So, Sean, if you had both pick, would you take him 12 or 13?
that.
I would take him
Easily,
13. Yeah, I have him ranked 13th overall, but
Okay.
I'd probably pair him with a wide receiver like Calvin Ridley or
That would be
Hopkins
insane.
or whatever.
That would be funny, though, if he somehow gets them both.
Be like, haha, look at huzzah!
Like, I'm not gonna go.
Huzzah.
I don't think I would go like. I mean, I'd definitely consider going running back, but yeah, it'd be close. It'd be close. All right. Anyways, let's get to our bold takes, favorite targets for this team. Q, start us off here.
Jeez, why is it always me?
First
not
one on the
like-
board.
It's a
Gotta go
pattern.
first for
dude.
this
Come
one.
on.
I mean, it's not really bold, but it's just a take that Joe Mixon will finish outside of the top 10 running backs. Not once. I don't know if it's twice, but again.
He got hurt last year, so obviously he was outside top 10.
Yeah,
excuses.
I think they're with these rookie running backs coming in. As I was hating on Najee Harris, but he's a threat to the top 10 spot. I do like Joe Mixon, but not enough for him to be top 10 at the end of the season. For all we know, Joe Burrow could just fall in love with throwing the ball. I mean, he is a quarterback, but he could just be in love with throwing the ball. Throwing it to Jamar Chase and T. Higgins because that's what's going to win in the games. Their defense hasn't made many improvements, so they will be down a bunch.
Yeah.
So that will cause him to throw the ball. Joe Mixon that can be a pass catching running back, but when you have your best friend on the outside, why not throw it to him?
Yeah, I hear where you're coming from. All right. T-Gods, I think you're going to elaborate on Q's take here.
Yeah, Q, you got him finishing outside the top 10. I'm going to say he's going to finish outside the top 15. The O-line, still sucks. They're probably going to be losing most games that they play, so they're going to be throwing the ball a lot. And ESPN has him at running back 14. Miles Sanders is at 15. Antonio Gibson is at 16.
Yeah,
And
they're
they could
wild.
easily finish
They
ahead
can
of him.
easily swap like Gibson for Mixon.
Gibson definitely.
Yeah.
Why do you guys hate Sandy?
Well, I need to
He
see
scares
Nick.
me a little bit. I don't trust the coach right now.
Right.
So
I want to see it.
Sirianni.
Booby can be top 10. He
Got
has
a backfield,
he has
too.
the skills, but I need the coach to believe.
All right, let's save that for when we have the NFC.
Yeah,
East.
we'll talk about the Eagles a shit ton when we get to the
Sean's
NFC East.
easily gonna make that the last division.
Run, booby, run.
I don't remember what I did. I already put them in order. So
Oh, right.
we'll keep it rolling. Anyways, Matt, what do you got? What's your take here?
My take is that T. Higgins will be the best receiver on the Cincinnati Bengals team. He was the best last year. I mean, he really surprised me last year. I didn't expect him to be that good, and he kind of broke out. And he finished better than Tyler Boyd, which most people wouldn't have expected. And I think the addition of Jamar Chase is only going to help him because teams aren't going to be focused on just him or Tyler Boyd really anymore. So they're going to spread defenses out, and there's definitely going to be a lot of holes to find in that secondary. So I like T. Higgins a lot.
I will say we've been just talking about the negatives to maybe downplaying these guys, but the addition of Jamar Chase could help also T. Higgins and Boyd.
Mm-hmm. I think it will.
Yeah, it definitely opens up the offense a little bit more also. All right, you guys already heard my spiel on Joe Mixon, but
Yeah, we don't wanna hear
Save
it
it.
again.
top 8 running back.
Save it.
So
Top
we're-
8, whatever. Dude.
Top
Save
8.
it.
It's gonna be top 8. We'll come back to this in 2022, and I'll be happy because I know he will be. All right, let's move on to the Baltimore Ravens.
If he finishes top 7, I'll buy you a Joe Mixon jersey.
Say less. Literally say less. All
Less.
right, let's get into the Baltimore Ravens. So we got a few cap or no cap, some questions. Same thing. We'll roll through this one. I know we're going a little lengthy here. So first one, Lamar Jackson should still be considered a top 5 quarterback, despite barely being a top 10 quarterback this past season. Cap or no cap?
Cap.
No cap. That rushing ability really helps in fantasy.
But he's been exposed.
No, he hasn't
No, he has
because he's
not.
going to have a very big bounce back year along with his receivers. Mark Andrews is going to have a bounce back year. So
You think Hollywood
Marquise
Browns?
Brown, yeah.
Wait,
And,
Matt,
Where do you
can-
guys have Lamar Jackson ranked?
I have him at
Lamar?
7. I would love to know Matt's top 5.
My top 5,
I
I
have him
got
at
Patrick
7 also.
Mahomes 1, Josh Allen 2,
Wait, hold on.
Tyler
Wait.
three.
Who was? Sorry. Go ahead again.
Patrick Mahomes 1.
Okay.
I got Josh Allen 2, Kyler 3, Lamar 4, and if he plays, I have Rodgers at 5.
Yeah, I have the exact same. I just flipped Kyler now.
T-Guts, I know who you have in the top 5 because I probably have him also in the top 5 at number 5.
Russell Wilson. Or
I got
Dak?
him at 3. I got him at
I've-
3, and I don't regret it at all.
No. I have Dak at 5 and Rodgers at 4.
I have
Lamar's
Dak at
7.
Yeah, I have no doubt Lamar Jackson will be a top 5 quarterback
Easy.
this year.
Yeah, top 5 running back.
Yeah, he's
And
a running
quarterback.
back.
He's both. He can do both. I love Lamar Jackson this year. I'm easily saying no cap. Lamar Jackson was QB 10 last year, but also QBs went bonkers last year. If Lamar Jackson put up those same numbers that he had last year in 2019, he would have been QB 3. And he did the same thing in 2018. He would have also been QB 3. So he still was at an elite level. He was behind a couple of guys by like 3 or 4 points. Lamar Jackson's going to be top 5 again. He's too good not to.
You know, though, that people are going to be a little more hesitant to draft him as high as he did last year.
Exactly. And I love the fact that he's going to have a great value where you get Lamar Jackson as top 5 quarterback.
No, I think he's going to be drafted at his value. I think people realize what he is.
Yeah. I mean, his current ADP is QB4. So that's right where I think he should be being taken. But for you guys, it's a little high. So I assume you guys won't get any shares of Lamar Jackson this year.
He just really let me down last year. I had really high expectations last year, but I guess the numbers weren't bad. I mean, it's just
He was good.
It was the
Other
yeah.
people
I
were
guess
the
everybody else.
expectations he had.
I think we
all
were
had
expecting
expectations.
we were expecting like a Patrick Mahomes second year
Yeah.
with running, and
He's never going to be Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, the Chiefs own the Ravens. Sorry, Ravens fans. All right. Next one here. J.K. Dobbins' ceiling is capped as an RB2 because Gus Edwards will continue to vulture touches in that backfield.
That's
Cap or no
cap.
cap?
I think that's got to be cap.
Cat.
For some reason last
It's
season
like-
I wasn't too high on Mark Andrews on
Dobbins.
J.K. Dobbins. I guess because Mark Ingram was there and Gus Edwards, but Mark Ingram's now on the Texans, and
Washed.
yeah, I just think I'm very high on J.K. Dobbins. I think that his pass catching ability, and we've seen he's had 20+ point games in the past with both of them maybe not Mark Ingram, but Gus Edwards. They know Edwards is just the backup guy and a complimentary piece. I think that JK will finish top 12.
Like
Ooh,
that take.
He popped
That
off at
is-
the end of the season last year.
It did
he
pop.
did.
In his last
only
6
thing that
games, he had
scares-
7 touchdowns.
Sheesh.
Damn.
I do think Gus Edwards will continue to have a little bit of a role. I don't think John Harbaugh is going to go away from that. But I
Right.
do have J.K. Dobbins at RB13, so I'm definitely high on him as well. I don't think his value will be capped. I definitely think he has the potential to be an RB1 this year. He definitely has RB1 upside.
Gus
Mhm.
Edwards is like equivalent to Chase Edmonds, kind of. Like, well, except
worse.
you're ranking Chase Edmonds higher, but like they're the vulture. Except Chase Edmonds is like some guy who can produce, but
He could be a starter.
he's just there.
The only thing
Yeah.
that scares me is Gus Edwards taking away like goal line work because he is kind of like the bigger back. So,
Yeah, that would be the only thing.
but
that
T
scared me
guys
also.
kind of shot me down with that 7 touchdowns in the last 6 games. So
Yeah.
Remember,
and
Matt?
he's too explosive. He can break it from 20 yards
Yeah.
out. He doesn't even need to be the goal line back. But
Sunday morning before game day, I told Matt start Gus Edwards, and I think it won him the game because he scored the 1 touchdown, but he had like a fumble, so it was all he needed.
uh,
all right,
He
last
can
cap
come
or no
through.
cap here. Sorry, Q, go ahead.
No, that was it.
All right, last cap or no cap here. No wide receivers on the Ravens should even be drafted heading into 2021 and redraft.
All right.
I
That's
mean, they're going to be drafted. But
That's cap.
should they?
big cap.
Marquise Brown is outside the top 40 for me.
I got it in Hollywood at 47. So, like, if I'm drafting him, he's my wide receiver 4 or 5. So I'm going to say cap, but I'm going to say I'm not going out of my way to draft any of their wide receivers. I do like Rashad Bateman, but I don't think he's going to have enough of a role to be super relevant.
Sammy?
More of a
Of
dynasty
all
guy.
people, you would take Rashad Bateman.
He's supposed to be the next AJ Brown.
Take Sammy week
That's
1,
that's
though.
his NFL comp.
Sammy Watkins week 1. After that, drop him.
Drop him.
Dude,
That's
did you
Gator
see-
strategy
Or sell him high for leverage.
or leverage. It's all about leverage.
That's all fantasy football is.
It's all about leverage. All right, let's move into some questions here. Let's keep it rolling. Where are you comfortable taking J.K. Dobbins this year in drafts?
Early 2nd round.
I would go second round, the end of the 2nd round, early 3rd.
I would go as far to say I would rather have JK over Joe Mixon.
I think
Wow,
I
respect it.
I don't think
I'm a mid to late 2nd round for J.K. Dobbins. Dynasty
do I
obviously
have him?
higher, but I got him at 21 overall. So that puts me at like late 2nd, but I wouldn't be afraid to go after mid if you were high on him.
Yeah.
He should not be falling to the 3rd round.
Yeah,
No
I don't
way.
think so.
If he does, scoop ASAP.
Yeah, if you get J.K. Dobbins in the 3rd
You
round,
got him
your
on
RB2,
clearance.
you'll be
Thank
you'll-
us
that's
clearance.
solid.
95% off.
$3.99.
All right. Of all the Ravens wide receivers, which one do you think has the best chance of being a weekly flex option?
Bateman.
I
I
I
just think-
hated him last year, but I think it's Hollywood.
I just think a new guy being in the offense is going to help Lamar, and like he may depend on him a lot. I think Bateman is going to be good. I don't know much about Bateman. I'm not going to be that guy to say I've watched him. But
I've definitely watched some of his highlights, but I haven't watched Rashad Bateman play a full college game. But I do think Bateman would have the most likely chance to be a consistent flex option. We've obviously seen Hollywood's pretty inconsistent, if anything, and I don't trust Sammy Watkins. I think he'll be hit or miss as well. So I think Bateman would have the best chance to be a weekly flex.
Yeah,
The hell, Q?
just got slapped by my
Technical
microphone.
difficulties.
Yeah, ignore Q's technical difficulties. Did everyone give their wide receiver here? Matt, I know you're taking Hollywood. Do you guys?
Uh-huh.
It's tough.
Don't
It's
worry
a
about
heavy
it.
wide
Don't worry
receiver
about
core.
it. We'll talk about it.
Willie Snead.
Talk about it. We'll talk about
We'll
it.
get back to that later.
All right, we'll talk about it. Let's get to the next question here. Is Mark Andrews locked in as a top 5 tight end again this year?
I'm not answering.
I guess he has to be. Only because tight ends
He
are
doesn't
so
have to be.
scarce. We saw
Yeah, he
that last
definitely
year.
He doesn't have to be. He doesn't have
Well,
to be. He's
he
not
is
my
in
top
my
5.
eyes. Who's in
I'm
your
locking
top
him in.
5?
Well, no, we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
We'll get to
Alright.
Q's top 5 for sure.
Yeah, most
But
definitely.
I got Goddard at 5.
Goddard at
Ooh,
5.
I have Goddard at
spicy.
5.
I got Mark Andrews
Wow.
at 5.
Bro, we're going to
I got
be
Mark
throwing
Andrews
the
at
ball.
4.
We're throwing the ball a lot.
There we are. I like Goddard. I got Goddard at 8.
All right, well,
Should
we're not
probably
talking
move
about
up
the
to
Eagles
7.
right now.
But anyways, yeah, we're not talking about the Eagles. Mark Andrews top 5 for me. Maybe not for you guys, but I like him. So
He's in
solid.
there for me.
Draft him again in the mid rounds. You get a solid tight end.
I mean, he's proven he can be top 5, but he fell off, but he was still good last year just because of the bad tight ends that were given.
Scarcity.
All right, we already
Yeah.
talked about Lamar enough, so let's get into our bold takes, favorite targets. Q, start us off. We just kind of hinted at it here, so let's roll into it.
Very recently, also, Mark Andrews will finish outside of the top 7 tight ends, and I can give you the 7, and you can tell me whether or not you'll take or not take. I'll be quick.
Well, we know Kelsey, Kittle, Waller. You don't even have to
Kelsey
say them.
Kittle, Kelsey Waller, Kittle.
Okay.
If
There you go. Oh no, Kelsey Kittle
I-
Waller.
yeah,
You got
no
that
doubt.
shit fucked up.
Yeah. Okay. Hawkinson, number 4.
I've Hawkinson at 4 also, but I'm scared of Jared Goff, man. He did not like tight ends in LA. But he also
Yeah,
had
well,
really
he's
good
in
wide
Detroit
receivers.
where everything sucks, so you might as well just throw it to Hawkinson.
Yeah, I got Hawkinson at 4.
5,
with
I've
you.
got Pitts.
I got Pitts at 6. I'm taking Andrews.
6,
risky.
I've got Logan Thomas. He showed last year what he's good at, and Fitzmagic loved Mike Gesicki last year.
Yeah,
So-
I respect it. I got Logan at 10. I
And
wouldn't
then,
put him that
and
high.
then 7, I've got Dallas Goddard. So that puts Mark Andrews outside of the top 7. I wouldn't be surprised if he's top 7 because he can be.
We've seen
He
it.
could be the option because Lamar is not that great at throwing, even though stats may say he is. He's not.
Numbers don't lie, bro.
He's a run first guy, but Mark Andrews, he's not going to be better than those 7 guys.
All right, I respect the take, but I disagree.
Well,
Anyways,
that's why it's an opinion.
of course. All right, T-Gots, hit us with your bold take here.
All right. Super bold.
Super
The leading receiver on the Ravens will be Sammy Watkins. Don't laugh. Don't
No.
laugh.
He might get
he was on the Bills.
He might get like his leading receiving yards in the first 2 weeks, like that's where he's good, and then,
And then
'cause
no one's
Lamar
gonna
doesn't
catch.
throw to Hollywood Brown, or Hollywood Brown doesn't catch the ball, so it's possible.
Hollywood Brown only averaged 3.6 receptions per game last year. That's not that hard to beat. If
And he was drafted-
Sammy Watkins can stay healthy, he could do it. He's a veteran. He knows how to, he's not bad. Like
Sammy
He's
Watkins
not
was
bad.
elite at one point in time. I just think he's old. He's got
He
bad
is.
feet.
I feel like he got so old so quick.
He was
Cut the
elite on the
dreads and
Bills.
he was
He
old.
did get old quick. I feel like Sammy Watkins is still young.
It was
He's
like
not.
4 years, and then we considered him like washed.
He needs to
Yeah.
go back
But-
to the Bills.
Hollywood only had 58 catches last year. That's
Yeah, he's a deep ball guy.
that's not crazy. Like that's not a lot.
People
Yeah.
drafted Hollywood as like a
We
wide
got to
receiver.
give him more routes to run.
One,
And
maybe.
we all expected more out of Hollywood last year than we got.
And he was
so
garbage.
I'm not falling for it again.
I'm
Like,
not
he
falling
did
him
for it.
last
I
year.
respect the Sammy Watkins take. He could be a solid kind of like 6 catches a game. His go-to guy, kind of like Willie Snead last year. I think he had the most
Yeah,
catches.
like,
or whatever, so.
there's no like the guy there. He doesn't even have to be the guy. He could just be a guy there that does a little bit better
A
than
body.
Hollywood.
See, if Willie Snead's getting the most catches and you're Hollywood Brown, you're not that good, and you're not that guy.
You're not that guy, pal.
You're
Trust me,
lucky you're on the
you're
team.
not that guy. Actually, Willie Snead only had 33 catches last year. But to be fair, he only played in
Stupid.
13 games, started in 8. I thought he had
Your
more than he did.
facts, dummy.
Hey, they're my facts. I gave him false information. I'll own up to it.
Terrible
See, guys,
host.
I respect
Way to
the
take
take.
accountability.
Hey, Q, fine. I'll blame it on you. You're dumb.
Okay. Terrible host blaming his own teammates.
I wasn't until you called me a terrible
What
host.
kind of leader are you?
So now I gotta act like one. I gotta be what you call
You're
me.
right. I appreciate it. I'll
All right.
take it.
Anyways, Matt, hit us with your take. I think you're going on the opposite spectrum here. If you guys,
Yeah, T-Gods, I respect your opinion and all
Hey,
that.
they're
I
just
know
takes.
you know your
They're
stuff.
just takes, man.
That's it. That's why they're called hot
You
takes.
give and you take.
But
I'm gonna
this one
take it.
might have been a little too hot for my own liking, so I'm gonna switch it up. I
Okay.
originally had Hollywood Brown finishing as a top 25 wide receiver,
Yeah,
but
that's
that
hot.
is literally impossible.
Boiling.
So I'm gonna put him in the top 30 though. I'm gonna give him an extra 5 spots to make it in there. but I
That
really
bold?
think he can.
Still may be
'Cause
boiling.
I think that Lamar and him have put in a lot of work this offseason. I mean, I see videos everywhere of them working out together, and they're definitely going to try and get him more involved this year. I mean, he is a deep threat, like Sean was saying, but I feel like he could be so much more than that. He's versatile, he's fast. I mean, I just want to see them explore his route tree and not just try and get him the ball deep downfield all the time.
Do you believe off-season videos?
I do.
We're a city known for off-season
What?
workout
Yeah,
videos.
nah.
Yeah.
We're not going to stop bringing up the Sixers, dog.
I'm talking about Jalen Hurts. I'm talking about them all. I
Alright,
want
thought
to
you were
see performance on
Hey,
game one, not with
If
me
Matt-
catching the ball.
if Matt's right here, you guys are getting a steal because he's being drafted as wide receiver 41. So he
Clearance.
definitely has a chance to get into that top 30, although I don't like it. It's possible. He's got some upside. All right. I'll finish this off here with the Ravens. My bold take, not super bold. J.K. Dobbins finishes in the top 10 running back for 2021. I have him ranked outside the top 10 just because of a little bit of a risk, but I easily think he could finish top 10. And I believe it definitely could happen. I love J.K. Dobbins. I think he's super explosive and he's a great pass catcher out of the backfield as well. So I think he's going to be Lamar's right hand man this year, and it's going to help Lamar elevate his game back to that MVP status.
I like it.
You know what wide receiver I can't wait to talk about being a steal this year?
Why don't
Do
you just save it?
What division are we doing next? I'll tell you right now if we're doing it.
I gotta look it up. Give me a second. Q, do your joke while I'm looking it up.
Yeah, come on.
No,
dude.
but I need people to be focused.
All right, it's AFC West is next.
Well, it's Will Fuller.
Okay, you like Will Fuller a lot.
Suspended.
I like it.
Yeah, but
He's
he's
missing one game, I think.
one game put him in like the bottom 50 wide receivers.
Put him in ISS.
All right, Q. Let's hit us with your joke of the week. That's the wrap for the Ravens and the divisions. We'll keep bringing them back. But
This
Q,
division is interesting.
what do you got for us? Yes, definitely a good division in football. We're gonna get to some stinkers soon, so appreciate this division
Save
while it's
her
here.
last. What do you call someone who doesn't like to fart in public?
Chris Quares.
A closet farter.
A private tutor.
That was funny.
Funny.
Oh shit. Private
Gil.
tutor.
I do
I
like to
respect
fart
it.
in public. Crop dust king.
Hey.
I did not realize Joe Mixon was behind Matt this whole time. Other way.
Okay.
Uphead.
Other way. Lower.
The trash can.
Yo, it's my pal Joe.
Yo, special guest Joe
That
Mixon.
is the opposite
Stop
of Joe
talking
Mixon.
bad about me.
Terrible ventriloquist.
Looks like he's been drinking.
Oh boy.
All right. We're going off the rails. That's a wrap for this podcast. We will definitely be back next week with the AFC. What did I say? The West?
Yeah.
Sure.
All right. No, yeah,
Sure.
AFC West. We'll be back with AFC West next week. So stay tuned for that. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at SuperFB Podcast and on Instagram at Super Fantasy Podcast. Stay up to date. We also have our website. Obviously, it's going to have our rankings there throughout the offseason if you're looking for some help. Check us out on YouTube, TikTok, if you have it, pretty much everywhere. Facebook, Go Birds, of course. But other than that, that's a wrap for the podcast. We'll see you guys next time.
Okay.
Peace.
Doses.